Hello, everybody. My name is Amy. I am your chapter president for the NAWBO Inland Empire, and today we're going to do a spotlight on Viva la Boba, and hopefully we're going to be talking about doing a January event there as well. So you have to keep an eye out on our social media to see when our next event will be there. But NAWBO, if you haven't heard of NAWBO, we are the National Association of Women Business Owners. And in the Inland Empire, our chapter is about supporting local women business owners who are looking to continue to move their business ahead to the next level. And by doing that, we are offering support by making sure everybody has access to resources in order to get the education and programming that they need, but also networking, because a lot of our jobs involve meeting new people and just chatting to people. So that's a big part of what we do. I'm going to keep everything brief. We're going to hand you off over here now to Vanessa. I'm going to let her introduce herself, and then we're going to get right into our spotlight so you can hear all about Viva la Boba. Vanessa, can you tell us a little bit about you and what you do for the chapter?
Hi, yes, my name is Vanessa, and I am the Programs and Events Chair for the local chapter of NAWBO. And my focus is just creating events and programs that can really help the everyday entrepreneur exceed in their business or move the needle forward. So we brought on Tansu, and I'm just really excited to learn about how you came up with the idea for the business and how you got into the LA Times.
Oh, thank you. That is a really interesting story. I will start with the business. It was the question how we got started with the business.
Mm-hmm.
So, the simple answer is my boyfriend and I, David, we opened the business together. The simple answer is we love boba, and there was no boba in San Bernardino. And we just thought it was unfair. When we were dating in San Bernardino, people had to drive 20 minutes to get boba from Loma Linda. And I remember thinking that's ridiculous. San Bernardino deserves nice things. It deserves more than just a boba shop. It deserves a community-oriented business. And so we just built that. And that's how Viva La Boba started 5 years ago. And we're opening our second location in Redlands soon. So it has been an interesting journey. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, so when do you open in Redlands? Because I would love to be there for your grand opening.
Thank you. You all will absolutely be invited. The entire
Okay.
organization will be invited. We don't have a date just yet, but we're shooting for
Okay.
before the end of the year, but maybe early 2025.
Okay, perfect.
Almost there. And then Vanessa, I think you had a second question. I forgot what it was. I'm sorry.
The LA Times article.
Oh, so that's hilarious. So this is a good story about marketing. We are in, it's been a rough area of downtown San Bernardino. So we've met our fair share of challenges with attempted break-ins and situations similar to that. And for one of the break-ins, they really damaged our glass. But it was kind of a funny story because they broke in and caused a lot of damage only to steal a handful of cookies. Like nothing even worth anything, it was just like, oh my God. And so that it picked up a lot of press. If there's anything I do, it's like turn a negative into a positive. And I said, there's no such thing as bad press. And so we got a lot of airtime talking about this cookie caper, and then I got a call from the LA Times and they wanted to do a story. And so I do some presentations on marketing to local colleges, and I always tell them that story. I said I put all over my social media after that, we are featured in the LA Times. I didn't mention it's because of a story about a break-in, but it's so true. We are featured in the LA Times. So that is a story on marketing. No such thing as bad press.
I love that. And
Thank
there's
you.
so many obstacles we run into as business owners that we have to constantly think on our feet and turn things around, because otherwise it's just going to drag you in the dirt, and you don't want to do that.
Exactly. You don't want that. Yeah, don't fall for that trap. You can, I think, to be a business owner, especially a woman business owner, it's like you take the lemons and you make lemonade.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. So you are a community driven type organization too. So what are you doing within your community to help? What is it that's making you a community based organization?
That's a great question. We have a lot of involvements. We have an entire page on our website just dedicated to community involvements. And that's not even to show off. That's just for me to personally keep track of everything we do, because sometimes I forget and I will have to go refer to that page. But honestly, we will do anything that involves the community, especially like the hyper local San Bernardino or Inland Empire community. So we have done school fundraisers, trash cleanups, art walks, open mic nights, that barely scratches the surface. Any kind of event that people come up to us and say, we want to do this. We've done like K-pop cup sleeve events, which is something K-pop fans love, where they celebrate like a K-pop star's birthday and they get special boba drinks. Like we are not, we're picky about our causes and that we want them to be fun and directly benefit the local community. But we've also, you know, done crazy events like that. So we just, we're really focused on helping our local community, especially schools, especially anything related to nature, conservation, sustainability. Those all really tie into our values. And it's just fun. It's not hard actually to be a community business. You just like help out when people ask for help, and it's great.
Yeah, no, I agree. So
That-
we're gonna sidetrack here. So for people
Sure.
who don't know what boba is there a community of people who don't know what this is? And can you tell us what boba is? What makes it so special?
Sure. So boba is still relatively new. I think it was only created in about maybe the 80s or 90s in Taiwan. It's a Taiwanese drink. It originated there. Boba, at its simplest form, is just tapioca, which is in many different cuisines, including Indian cuisines. I'm Indian, but I had never had it in actual boba form until I was young and living in the Bay Area. And it's essentially little tapioca balls that are boiled and then sweetened with your choice of sweetener. We use brown sugar and put into whatever drink that you want. And it has kind of an al dente mouthfeel. And I believe there's still a ton of people who don't know what boba is. It has gotten super popular in the last 40 years, but you know, I'm sure there's still a bunch of people who haven't tried it. So I always encourage people to make Viva La Boba their first place to try it, because we have a lot of beginner friendly drinks.
Yeah, I love that. And it sounds like you have better quality ingredients than most boba places because I
You know,
avoid.
we really do. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it. You don't want to go to a place with a bunch of powders and just,
Well, I'm
yeah.
allergic to cornstarch, and almost every boba place, their boba is cornstarch based. So like
Oh,
there's
interesting. I have to double check our ingredients. I don't think cornstarch is in there, but I'll find out and make sure that we
okay.
have a boba drink for you. That's one thing I love about us though, is we have something for everyone. If you're allergic
Yeah.
to cornstarch, I'll still find a boba drink for you. If you don't drink coffee, you know, if you are allergic to vanilla, it's like a test. People can come in and give me whatever modification they have, and I'm like, no, I still have a drink for you. There's something for everybody.
I may throw you for a loop. We'll have to maybe that will
Come
be
on
our
by. Let's find
challenge
out.
in January.
Yes, that's the January challenge. I'll be ready for you, Amy. Don't worry.
Okay, I'm writing the book on it, so we'll see. I might be able to add you to my book if you can.
I'm gonna Google
That's so
cornstarch
awesome.
free boba.
Amongst many things.
Oh gosh, I'll be ready. Don't worry.
Okay.
So I did have a question.
Sure.
Since you said that you've been in business for 5 years,
Mhm.
COVID happened 4 years ago. So how
Yes.
was that, where people weren't leaving their house, and how did you push through?
That's a great question. I remember being super anxious, like many other people and other fellow small business owners, but it's one of those things where you can either let it get you down, like we were saying earlier, or just immediately spring into action. And I'm pretty good in an emergency situation. And so we pivoted almost overnight. I contacted someone locally to hand make masks so that my employees would be able to come in and be masked. That was never like a negotiable thing for us. We wanted to follow all the protocols, and we did. I spent so much of my time making sure I completely changed our dining room and closed it off. So we were following all the issued mandates. And I don't even think we took one day off. We pivoted overnight. And it ended up being actually a really good time business wise for us. We got so lucky. I think because people got some money from the government and had nowhere else to go, they kind of gravitated towards Viva. And we still focused on being a community oriented business despite not allowing people to gather. And I think that's what brought so many people to our store. And I'm so grateful it worked out that way. I know a lot of other businesses weren't so lucky and had to close. And I never take it for granted that we were able to not only survive, but do really well.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
some businesses had been around for 40 years, and after COVID,
And
they had
that
to
was it.
close.
Yeah. And I feel bad for them. You never know someone's exact circumstance. And, you know, I say like we really put a lot of thought into it, but it's also sometimes just luck. And so we're very grateful to have lived through that.
Yeah, you just gotta go with it. Like you can't
Yeah.
wait. You just gotta run. And to do it
Yeah.
overnight was probably one of the big things for your success. Is like we can still
Thank
be open.
you.
We're gonna hit everything. we're going to make this work and we're just going to move forward. Like,
That was
again,
exactly it. Yeah, I didn't, yeah, no days off in that period. It was just like, okay, over by morning, we're gonna have this figured out. We're gonna open
yeah,
and we will just what's the term? I think being a real true entrepreneur is all about being able to deal with those last minute challenges and be adaptable.
yeah, yeah. And that, right? Because we don't have the big strings of like corporations holding us back. We don't have to go through different departments. We're just,
No
okay,
hoops. Yep.
right? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's amazing. Absolutely
Thank
amazing.
you.
And it follows suit. Like you had also then had the cookie caper and it was the same thing. You just got to move forward.
Yeah, just keep adapting. Yeah, whatever people throw at you, just, just juggling and throwing it back.
So one question I do have is, with all the information and experiences that you've had over the past 5 years,
Mhm.
what would you tell yourself back then?
Oh, wow. These are awesome questions. What would I tell myself? I
Vanessa's
would
good.
say I would say it's so fun to be a small business owner and not have a boss, but you will do a lot better if you give yourself the gift of organization and a schedule. Because that's something I've like really committed to in the past year and it's made such a difference. And I felt like, I mean, I opened the business when I was young. I was like 23. I didn't know what I was doing. I never opened a business before. So I'm not surprised I didn't know to do this. But now I follow like kind of a strict schedule of, okay, from this time to this time I do emails, and
Yeah.
it's that kind of structure that ironically affords me freedom in my schedule elsewhere. So I
Yep.
think giving myself, I wish I would have done that sooner. And then also I would tell myself like just chill out. It's never that serious. At the end of the day, you're just selling boba. No one's going to die. My parents are physicians. Their careers have always been literally life or death, and I'm lucky that I'm an actor. I work in entertainment where nothing is life or death, and neither is boba. So I always remind myself of that, and I would have saved myself many years of stress and therapy maybe if I'd chilled out a little, but I'm there now. I'm good now.
I feel like you need that on a t-shirt. It's never life and death. It's just boba.
It's just boba, right? Yeah, that's that's our next t-shirt for sure. I tell my staff that all the time. I'm like, whenever they make a mistake, I'm like, it's not life or death. It's Tai Chi. It's not, it's never that serious. We do our best for sure all the time, but like, don't lose sleep over anything.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like, I love that. I absolutely love that. So if anyone is interested, uh, going to Viva La Boba, website is
Yes.
on the screen, vivalaboba.com. Check her out. Do you have a newsletter? Because we need to stay up to date with you as well. So
Yes, we
when you
do. If you go to our website, vivalaboba.com, it'll show you where you can sign up for our free loyalty program. We send out a newsletter with coupons every month, and you get a free drink after your 10th visit. I highly recommend it. We put a lot of VIP only information there. So if you want to know about secret menus and events before other people.
secret menus, that's a thing.
Yes, it is.
All
We'll
right.
have a
So
cornstarch free menu.
um, I will be
I
the first
did
to
have another
verify that
question
for you.
Sure, please.
in regards to social media. I see that
Yes.
your Instagram is over 11,000 followers. That's
Thank
super
you.
impressive. Are
Thank
you
you.
also on TikTok? Have you gone on any
Yes.
TikTok trends?
So I'm on TikTok. I was doing way more of it for Viva during the pandemic when we had more downtime, and now I have fallen off on TikTok, but I've been encouraged by people to get back on. I'm actually looking at hiring a couple social media interns to help us with TikTok because I'm the one who does all of our social media and I post every single day on Instagram. Everything you see on Instagram is me. We've never hired anyone else to do that. So, or we haven't hired anyone else to post without me seeing it first. But I am open to expanding to TikTok now, and I think getting a couple local social media interns will help us expand that.
Yeah, then that's the best way to start bringing in some new blood, right? Some fresh
Yeah, you
ideas,
can only do so much. If there's anything I've learned, you can only
right?
do so much. At a certain point, you have to start delegating.
Because you wear so many hats. Like, okay,
Yes,
I don't have
yeah,
time for this hat anymore. Someone else.
exactly. The TikTok hat is, yeah, not currently available to me, but maybe for an intern.
Yeah, I love that. Do you have plans? Like, have you looked into what that process is going to look like?
Yes, and so basically I got registered with a couple local colleges, Cal State San Bernardino, University of Redlands, San Bernardino Valley College, and we've gotten applications primarily from those three because again, we're a community business, we want to work with local people
Yep.
and especially local students who could use the experience, expand their portfolio. And we've already had some great candidates interview, so this will be happening soon.
Wow, that is
Yeah,
amazing.
I love interns. I have a agreement myself with San Diego State University where they
Nice.
get
Look at that.
academic credit.
Exactly, because I don't just want it to be like unpaid, do this for me. It's like you have to
Right.
get
Yeah.
something out of it. And so, yeah, I think it's awesome.
And that's a great way. Again, you're giving back to the community, right?
We try, yes.
It's everything is circular. It has to come back to the community because they
Yes,
support us. Let's make sure we're giving back.
exactly.
Are
And
you
they are like
support-
the life. I always say there's no Viva without them. So they are like the life force of this business and our number one priority.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So thank you so much. If anyone is interested in learning more about NAWBO and NAWBO Inland Empire, go to nawb-ie.org. But to find out and sign up for those amazing loyalty club programs at Viva La Boba, go to vivalaboba.com and stop in, say hi, and keep an eye out because I need to block my calendar for your Redlands opening.
Yes,
I will
I
be
will
there.
absolutely let everyone know. Thank you guys so much for having me. This was awesome.
Oh, you're
Thank you so
welcome.
much for signing up.
Yes, happy
Yeah.
to.
And this is what we like to do. We want to spotlight our local businesses and members that are just out there. You're running your day-to-day business. What more can NAWBO do for you? And this is one of the ways we want to give back to our members is give you a spotlight. So thank you so much. Everyone
Thank
have a
you.
great rest of your day. And thank you for tuning in. All links will be in the chat below and on multiple different channels. So have a great rest of your day and make sure you vote. Doesn't matter who you're voting